Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, is my kindness being wasted at this moment? Take a moment to think. Out of 10 people you're willing to help, how many genuinely appreciate and use that support to grow? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Kindness is like water. It only holds value when poured in the right place." Stoic philosophy teaches us that helping others is a noble act, but choosing who truly deserves that help is even nobler. The resources you possess, your time, energy, and kindness, are limited. Without careful thought, we risk exhausting ourselves in efforts that yield little in return. Today, we'll delve into exploring the 8 types of people you should carefully consider before offering your support. This isn't about becoming selfish. It's about being wise and discerning with your kindness and love. If you find something useful or inspiring in this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear your thoughts, even just a quick "keep it up" in the comments. Let's dive in. 1. The ingrate. Where are the other 9? This is the heartfelt question Jesus posed after healing 10 lepers, only to have one return to express gratitude. Although this story is thousands of years old, it echoes a modern truth. Out of 10 people you help, perhaps only one genuinely appreciates your efforts. This lack of gratitude not only stings, but gradually drains your energy. As Marcus Aurelius once remarked, gratitude is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all others. Why? Because gratitude helps people recognize the value of assistance, motivates them to use that support for growth, and inspires them to spread positivity to others. In contrast, an ungrateful person is like a bottomless vessel. No matter how much effort you pour in, it all leaks out. They treat assistance as a given, sometimes even demanding more without any sense of appreciation. Consider Sarah, for instance. She's always willing to help, often staying late at the office to support a new colleague, Mark, with various projects. Yet, in a performance review meeting, not only did Mark fail to acknowledge Sarah's help, but he even complained that she interfered too much. This not only hurt Sarah, but also caused her to lose faith in the value of kindness. Why should we carefully consider before helping the ungrateful? Stoic philosophy underscores that, while helping others is a noble act, it's equally important to be discerning about who deserves that help. This isn't just about conserving personal energy. It's about recognizing that every act of help impacts both the giver and the receiver. Ungrateful individuals rarely learn or improve themselves from the help they receive. Instead, they see it as something they're entitled to, believing that others owe them. This sense of entitlement not only renders your help meaningless, but can also lead them to become even more dependent and self-centered. When you help an ungrateful person, you not only waste your time and effort, but also contribute to fostering their bad habits. Their unchecked sense of entitlement can lead to the exploitation of others' kindness, making them feel less responsible for change or growth. In this way, your assistance unintentionally encourages irresponsible and selfish behavior. From a Stoic perspective, kindness holds the greatest value when it fosters growth, helping others recognize what they need to change rather than making them dependent. How to recognize the ingrate. Spotting an ungrateful person isn't always straightforward, but there are certain signs that make it easier to identify. The ungrateful often blame and complain about their circumstances instead of appreciating what they've received. When speaking of those who have helped them, they tend to criticize, blame, or downplay the effort, as if that support was obligatory and unworthy of recognition. Pay attention to whether they can express genuine gratitude or if they simply keep asking for more. The ungrateful aren't just content to receive help. They often show dissatisfaction, demand more, and are never truly satisfied with what they get. For example, in the workplace, if someone consistently relies on colleagues to complete their tasks without appreciation or a willingness to contribute in return, that's a clear sign of ingratitude. Seneca once remarked, Time will reveal who is grateful and who is not. With an ungrateful person, help does not inspire positive change, but rather fuels more demands and complaints. On the other hand, a grateful person tends to use support to progress, and when possible, will extend help to others. If you encounter someone who never reciprocates or assists others despite receiving plenty, it might be time to reconsider your kindness towards them. Ultimately, wisdom in offering help means recognizing who truly deserves it, because kindness holds its value only when given thoughtfully and meaningfully. By choosing not to help the ungrateful, you protect your kindness and allow them the chance to reflect on themselves and learn gratitude. 2. The lazy person. A lazy person isn't just ungrateful, they lack the drive to change. They waste not only their own time, but also the time of those around them, even though they are fully capable of progressing further. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "If you waste time, you'll never get it back." It's a reminder of time's value, a priceless asset that can't be bought again. Yet, lazy people treat time as if it were endless and often waste the time of those who try to help them. Imagine a friend who is perfectly capable but constantly complains about their job, low salary, or unfair treatment. Friends around them, with good intentions, share courses, job leads, and even volunteer to coach and encourage them. But months go by, and the courses remain unopened, opportunities are ignored, and the complaints continue. Despite having everything they need to improve, this friend makes no progress because they lack self-motivation. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." This explains why lazy people often claim that their circumstances are holding them back. They might say, "If I were born into a wealthier family," "if I had more opportunities," or "if the market were better," as excuses for their stagnation. These justifications mask their lack of self-driven change. Why should you avoid helping the lazy? Helping a lazy person only makes them more dependent. Imagine pushing a car that's in neutral. It only moves forward with external force. But the moment you stop pushing, it stops moving. For a lazy person, outside assistance cannot sustain progress if they lack the drive to move forward themselves. In life, lazy people can show up in many forms. Some wait for others to solve their problems, while others rely on support from family or friends without ever facing real challenges. This not only drains those who help them, but also reinforces the lazy person's passivity and stagnation. While laziness can stem from various causes, one essential truth remains: no one can change their life unless they truly want to change. Ask yourself, are you helping someone who shows no sign of improvement? If the answer is yes, reconsider. Your time and energy deserve to be invested where they truly matter. In relationships, lazy individuals often view you as a crutch, something that lets them avoid effort. They don't seek success through assistance. Rather, they seek to avoid doing the work themselves. This type of support only deepens their dependence, preventing them from developing the discipline and initiative they need. At work, shouldering tasks for a lazy coworker can create an imbalance, leading to resentment from others. This person tends to shirk responsibilities, expecting colleagues to pick up the slack. This dependence stunts their growth, leaving them without the skills or work ethic required to succeed. Before moving on to the next type, ask yourself, does everyone deserve help, even if they refuse to take responsibility for their life? This question opens a thoughtful perspective on the next type, the irresponsible person. Don't waste your valuable time on those lacking self-motivation. Instead, reserve your kindness and help for those willing to change and who appreciate support, because your kindness deserves to be placed where it creates real value. Sometimes, allowing others to stand up and face challenges on their own is the best way for them to learn responsibility and grow. 3. The irresponsible person. In the journey of personal growth, an irresponsible person is a concerning type. They not only refuse to make an effort, but also constantly evade the consequences of their actions, creating negative ripple effects that they're unwilling to acknowledge. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Every action we take sends ripples through the ocean of life." This saying is a reminder that no action is without consequence. However, for irresponsible individuals, this idea seems to leave no impression. They live as if every consequence is someone else's problem, often burdening others with their fallout. A classic example can be found in the workplace. When a project fails, instead of seeking solutions, some people are quick to blame others or the situation itself. They might say, "The system is unclear," "information was incomplete," or "others didn't cooperate," all to avoid personal accountability. As a result, the burden of fixing the problems falls on everyone else, transforming teamwork into a cleanup crew for someone else's negligence. Epictetus taught, "True freedom begins when we accept responsibility for our lives." This is a powerful reminder that responsibility isn't a burden, it's the key to freedom. When someone takes responsibility for their actions, they gain the power to change and improve their life. In contrast, irresponsible individuals only become more dependent, passive to the world around them, and never truly in control of their own fate. Why shouldn't we help the irresponsible? Helping the irresponsible is like continually catching a child who falls while learning to walk. If we keep catching them, the child will never learn balance. Similarly, by shielding irresponsible people from the consequences of their actions, we unintentionally create a protective shield that blocks them from learning essential life lessons. Seneca once said, "Sometimes fate leads the wise, but always drags the irresponsible." When people refuse to take responsibility, they remain at the mercy of their circumstances, forever victims of their own careless actions. In relationships, the irresponsible create fatigue for those around them by constantly leaving messes for others to clean up. They make promises they never keep and commitments they never honor. This lack of responsibility not only leaves others feeling used, but also weakens trust and connection within the relationship. Refusing to help the irresponsible isn't a lack of compassion, it's a true act of love. Sometimes caring means allowing others to face their own challenges, and through that, to grow. By not shielding the irresponsible, we help them confront consequences, ultimately realizing the importance of taking charge of their own lives. 4. The manipulator. Next on this list is the manipulator, those individuals whose skill lies not in facing responsibilities, but in subtly controlling others. They are emotional artists, adept at playing with the hearts and minds of those around them. Stoic philosophy has always warned against this type of person, as they threaten one of the core Stoic principles, the ability to master one's emotions and maintain self-control. Epictetus once taught, "Freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want, but the right to refuse what others want." This rings especially true when dealing with manipulators, who never directly ask for what they want, but use subtle tricks to get you to act on their behalf. Manipulators often use emotional tactics, stirring up feelings of guilt, pressure, or insecurity to get what they want. In everyday life, you may have encountered statements like, "What will people think if you say no?" These aren't typical requests. They are sophisticated strategies designed to make you feel obligated or guilty if you don't comply with their wishes. In the workplace, manipulators become even more skillful. They might excessively praise you for a small achievement, only to later ask you to take on tasks outside your responsibility. They may create emergencies that pressure you into quick decisions without the time to think them through. Marcus Aurelius's reminder that true power lies in not reacting emotionally, serves as a grounding principle. When we recognize we're being manipulated, anger or hurt is a natural response. However, Stoic philosophy advises us to step back, observe, and analyze the situation objectively. Why you shouldn't help a manipulator. Helping a manipulator is akin to handing them more tools to exploit others' kindness for personal gain. Manipulators often push boundaries to serve their own interests, leaving us feeling used. Seneca taught, "A wise person does not let themselves be placed in situations they cannot control." Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's necessary for protecting one's autonomy and self-respect. How to recognize and distance yourself from a manipulator. There are several signs of manipulation. First, listen to your own feelings. If you feel pressured or guilty after each interaction, it may be a sign of manipulation. Notice repeated patterns in their communication, often involving subtle hints or requests that make it hard to say no. Most importantly, learn to say no confidently and firmly to protect your freedom and boundaries. Standing your ground when faced with a manipulator is the best way to maintain self-control. Rather than letting them lead, set clear limits and prioritize your inner peace. When you reject manipulation, you protect not only your kindness, but also your autonomy and personal values. Congratulations on making it more than halfway through the video. You're working to become a better version of yourself, and that's wonderful. If you find something useful or inspiring in this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear your thoughts, even just a quick "keep it up" in the comments. 5. The Persistent Critic. On this journey, we encounter the persistent critic, those who see life through a negative lens and never stop finding fault. Imagine you're climbing a mountain and they're beside you, constantly telling you that you'll never make it. This relentless criticism saps motivation and plants seeds of self-doubt. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Don't let others' criticism disturb the peace of your soul. Either they're right, giving you a chance to improve, or they're wrong, making their opinions irrelevant." This perfectly captures the Stoic philosophy on the difference between constructive feedback and negative criticism. Persistent critics rarely aim to help you grow. They merely point out flaws without ever offering solutions. In the workplace, a good leader provides feedback that helps employees grow. In contrast, the persistent critic has no intention of supporting others. They may criticize your work, even the way you laugh, but it's never constructive. As Epictetus taught, when others criticize you, they reveal more about themselves than about you. Often, their criticisms stem from their own fears and insecurities. They're afraid of being outdone and use criticism to protect their ego. Seneca also said, "A person who is unhappy with themselves will never be happy with anything." Rather than fostering a positive mindset, persistent critics need to address their own internal struggles. Their negativity brings no value and often chips away at your self-belief. Why you shouldn't keep helping the persistent critic. Spending too much energy on a critic is not only futile, but can also erode your enthusiasm and confidence. Stoic philosophy reminds us to protect our energy and to differentiate between meaningful feedback and useless criticism. Constructive feedback focuses on solutions, whereas negative criticism just emphasizes flaws without adding value. Your energy is limited and precious. Instead of wasting it on proving critics wrong, focus on positive relationships where others genuinely want to see you thrive. Protecting your soul and energy from pointless criticism helps you maintain inner peace and focus on self-growth. 6. The Narcissist. In exploring the types of people, Stoic philosophy advises us to be cautious about helping. We can't overlook the narcissist, those who love themselves to the point of seeing themselves as the center of the universe. For them, every conversation must revolve around them, Every success should be viewed as their own achievement, and any constructive feedback is taken as an insult. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I shall meet arrogant people.'" This is a mental preparation for dealing with narcissists, the most challenging type, as they live in a self-created world where everything must serve their immense ego. In the workplace, these individuals often turn every meeting into their personal stage. They interrupt others, steer every discussion toward their own accomplishments, and disregard the contributions of their colleagues. Why does Stoic philosophy caution against helping narcissists? To a narcissist, your help isn't seen as a gift to be appreciated. It's viewed as an affirmation of the greatness they believe they possess. This is why Stoic philosophy warns that helping such people is like pouring water into an overflowing cup, useless and a waste of energy that can lead to frustration. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But for a narcissist, they believe every good thing is because of their brilliance, and every misfortune is someone else's fault. They often lack the ability for self-reflection or honest assessment of their limitations. Today, narcissism has become even more complex in the age of social media. Each photo, each post, is an opportunity to showcase their exceptional qualities. They don't need help or advice as much as they need an audience to praise and admire them. Seneca warned, "A person who always thinks they're right will never learn anything new." This is the tragedy of the narcissist. They're so captivated by their own perfect image that they can't recognize opportunities for growth and development. Constructive feedback is seen as a threat, and criticism is instantly dismissed. When you help a narcissist, you're not only wasting your time and effort, but also reinforcing their distorted self-image. Rather than encouraging growth, you're helping them build higher walls of self-admiration, isolating themselves further from reality and those around them. Refusing to help a narcissist not only preserves your energy, but also encourages them to look inward rather than relying on praise from others. 7. The Opportunist. We now explore the next type, the Opportunist, those who have no hesitation in exploiting others' kindness for their own personal gain. Opportunists are people who know exactly when to show up to reap benefits and when to disappear to avoid responsibility. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A person's actions reveal their moral character." Every action an opportunist takes has one motivation: self-interest. They're like bees that don't care about helping a flower grow, but are only there to take the nectar before quickly flying away. In the workplace, they skillfully avoid tough meetings and challenging projects, yet they're right there to claim credit when a project succeeds. Why should you think twice before helping an opportunist? Epictetus once said something very telling. "Don't tell me what a person has achieved, tell me what they've sacrificed to achieve it." An opportunist never sacrifices, they only leverage the sacrifices of others. They are experts at identifying and exploiting kindness, turning every relationship into a one-sided transaction in their favor. By taking credit for others' work and disappearing when risks arise, they create an unfair environment, hurting those around them. In a professional setting, opportunists often operate subtly, taking on easy projects, pushing difficult tasks onto others, or claiming credit for team efforts while quickly distancing themselves from any shared failures. This is why Stoic philosophy reminds us to recognize the negative impact they can have and not let our kindness fuel their injustice. How to recognize and avoid the opportunist. When an opportunist exploits others' kindness, they not only undermine its value, but also promote a lifestyle lacking in honesty and responsibility. Seneca emphasized, "Kindness must be paired with wisdom." By helping an opportunist, we inadvertently send the message that taking advantage of others is an effective strategy to achieve goals. This erodes the good values in society, leaving genuine contributors feeling cynical and discouraged. Instead of investing energy in those who only take advantage, Stoic philosophy advises us to reserve our help for those who truly deserve it, those who know how to both receive and give back, who appreciate and contribute. Kindness has meaning only when given to those who value it. Keeping a distance from the opportunist protects your kindness from exploitation. The envious person. Finally, we come to the envious person, those who are never content with what they have and are constantly fixated on others' success. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Another's happiness does not make you unhappy. Yet, for the envious, others' happiness becomes a source of pain." Why should you think twice before helping the envious? Imagine life as a garden. Each person has seeds to cultivate, yet the envious spend most of their time comparing and feeling upset when others' flowers bloom. They don't understand that each garden has its own timing and conditions, and that someone else's growth does not take away their own opportunities. Stoic philosophy teaches that our energy is limited. When we help an envious person, our support isn't turned into motivation for growth. Instead, it fuels their jealousy. Epictetus reminds us, happiness comes not from having what you want, but from wanting what you have. Yet, the envious are never satisfied with what they have. They believe the grass is always greener on the other side. This renders our kindness meaningless, as their focus remains on what they lack, rather than on what they can appreciate or achieve. How to recognize and protect yourself from the envious. In today's world of social media, envy can thrive. Every post or story of someone else's success feels like a blow to their self-worth. They fail to recognize that social media often showcases only the best moments, and that each success story is backed by endless hard work. Seneca insightfully observed, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Envious people often imagine that others achieve success effortlessly, while they feel as though they're constantly struggling. What to do when you encounter envy? Rather than trying to change envious people, Stoic philosophy advises us to keep a safe distance, not out of coldness, but to protect our own energy and inner peace. Envy, much like an infectious disease, can easily spread to others, creating negativity and barriers to personal growth. Instead of wasting your kindness on envy, invest your time and energy in those who appreciate and are eager to grow. These are people who seek success not only for themselves, but also celebrate the successes of others. Maintaining distance from the envious helps preserve your inner peace and ensures positive relationships with those who genuinely want to see you succeed. We've now explored 8 types of people that Stoic philosophy advises us to think twice about before offering help. But why is it so important to be discerning when helping others? Marcus Aurelius once said, "The wise person not only knows how to give, but knows when to give and to whom." This is the core of the Stoic approach to kindness, a kindness with purpose, like sunlight that only creates value when directed in the right place. Kindness is a precious investment. Imagine your kindness as an investment. A wise investor would never pour money into projects with no future, and similarly, you shouldn't waste kindness on those with no intention or capacity for change. People who are ungrateful, lazy, or irresponsible will never grow if they are continuously shielded from the consequences of their actions. Epictetus emphasized, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Withholding help from those who don't deserve it isn't selfish, it's practicing a higher form of kindness. Sometimes, the greatest gift you can give others is allowing them to face reality so they can learn to grow and stand on their own. Seek out and invest in those who are eager to grow. Look for people who use assistance as a stepping stone to move forward. Seneca once said, "Time heals pain, but only if it is used wisely." Likewise, Kindness only holds value when offered to the right person at the right time. Sometimes, refusing help is the most effective form of assistance because, when others are forced to confront their own consequences, they have a real opportunity for change. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Remember that the greatest peace comes from helping others, but only when it doesn't harm you." Stoic philosophy teaches us that a better world is built not just by compassion, but by wise choices about when to help and when to let others face reality on their own. Let the wisdom of Stoic philosophy guide you in your journey to help others, for in the end, true kindness isn't just about giving, but also about knowing when it's the right time to give. Thank you for joining Philosophic Stoic today. If you found value in this video, feel free to subscribe, leave a like, or simply type "Keep it up" in the comments. Your support helps us create more content that you'll love. We appreciate having you as part of our community. Until next time, stay wise and serene. Have a great day.